most of you know what he ended up to. But even though Mike wanted you to think he was the meanest, toughest guy in the valley, we all know better. Mike was a pussycat, and if he called you friend, he would not only give you the shirt off his back, he'd cut himself open and give you the heart if you needed it. I'm gonna miss him. And Naomi, I'm always there.
Good morning. I'm Maria Markham Thompson, or as Mike sometimes called me, Maria Christine Leon Angelina Dismanglis Waters Markham, which later became Thompson. Long story about family history. And Mike was family to me, friend to me, spiritual guide to me. If anybody asks, why are you a Jew? A big part of the answer is Mike. Because for all that we knew that he could be highly irreverent, part of the reason he could be that irreverent is because of how much he knew, how much he had studied about Judaism, about being a Jew. But what was more important than that was that Michael made sure to get to the essence of it. He skewered the form, but he loved the substance. And he lived the substance. As he said, he would give you the shirt off his back. He would ask if you needed his socks. Here, take my extra pair. It could be cold out. When we lived in the same building on Coney Island Avenue, where he still resides, and we didn't have heat, Michael was screaming at the landlord because there was a newborn in the apartment across the hall. It wasn't so much that we were cold, but he was concerned for the welfare of that baby. Michael was a teacher. He didn't give me the answers, but more importantly, he taught me to think Jewishly. He taught me to ask questions. He taught me if I didn't like the answer, to go back and ask again, right? And again, and again. Because Mike wasn't going to give up on the point. We spent a lot of, I can't tell you how many cups of coffee I lifted with him. And I will lift more cups of coffee in his honor and memory because of all that he taught me, not just running through science fiction conventions, my very first one at the Commodore saying, and you gotta read this, and you gotta read this, and you gotta read this, and I came home with like 75 books that I needed to all read in the next week, and yes, there was a test because Michael was going to ask me questions. And I'm still asking questions, and of course our biggest question is why, and we're not going to get an answer, but what the answer he has left us with is an example of a life. And I hope we're all able to take that out of here and give that answer to everyone else. Thank you.
When I first met Michael, it was at the Queensboro Science Fiction Club, and I was the first president of the Queensboro Science Fiction Club. When I first met Michael, I looked at this man. I listened to his loud voice, and I said, what an obnoxious little troll this man is. And he has not yet proved me wrong. But he is the most fierce and best friend I have ever had. We have lost contact with each other, but yet still kept in contact with friends and so forth. I have spent many sharing a room with him at science fiction conventions with him. I remember Naomi being the vice president of the Queensboro Science Fiction Club and having to pull Mike and Naomi apart. They couldn't stand each other. They hated each other. It was amazing. And then years later, someone told me, excuse me, they got married, I fainted. I knew Michael and Naomi so long, like I said, loose contact, but kept in contact. And they have had a happy marriage. And I'll miss Mike, even though I still haven't kept in contact with him. And Mike, wherever you are, in heaven or hell, wherever you are, I know if you're in heaven, you're going to give them hell. And if you're in heaven, well, if you're in hell, you're going to still give them hell, and you'll probably take over Lucifer's place. So I know that's somewhat Christian, but I'm sorry. But thank you.
Mike Moslow was more than a brother to me. I mean, we weren't related or anything like that, not directly. But 18 years ago this month, he saved my life. And, you know, it's a debt that I could never, you know, really repay. But I love this man for the past 18 years. And, you know, aside from the fact that he was the best portable reference, you know, anyone interested in digest-sized, you know, science fiction magazines, you know, he was actually an absolute reference for just about anything ever published in, you know, science fiction magazines. But he was closer than any brother by blood, you know, could possibly be, you know, and I miss him. I guess I should take more marksmanship training or something. Michael, wherever the hell you are loved, you will be remembered. Not much else I can say.
I'm Ira Donalds. As most of us are prepared to speak, we speak from the heart. And it occurs to me a few years back, I thought, what is heart and what is soul? I've come to the conclusion that heart is what feels and the soul is what remembers. And a full person is when you have the combination of both. And right now my heart is feeling that Michael's gone and we won't be the same. But my soul's remembering that I've known Michael a long time, not as deeply as some, but I remember Michael. And it suddenly occurs to me, I have a little humor Michael would approve, a certain word applies to Michael. And I see myself saying, Mike, does this mean you? And I can see him turning his head slightly to me and going, hell yeah. Michael, you're a character. And he's had a lot of energy over the years. When he was younger, he had a lot of energy being a character or a character of all trades. As he got older, a lot of his energy went into more focus. Movies, DVDs, you name it, you know which things I'm talking about, things you had long conversations. But a lot of his energy was devoted to Naomi, because that's the way it is, that they wouldn't have still been together for 19 years, 9 months, but seemed like long. And I'll remember Michael, as I just said, in both places. But something does occur to me. I may mention John Vanderbilt, a good friend of mine, and I find myself saying, I would like to have told John this, or I'll tell John this and I realize he's gone, or he wouldn't like this and that. And I want to point out that Michael will be in your soul, your memory, and you'll feel this, you'll count the things that you'll go to yourself. But Mike would have liked this. Mike would want to know about this. Hell, Mike, what is this? It's part of life. And Michael is part of our life. And a collective sigh. Thank you.